Welcome to HDTV. You're now rocking with your boy. I had to hit the outro, you knuckles. Now, Jalen Rose basically, shout out to Jalen Rose. I've always been a Jalen Rose fan. On the court, Jalen Rose was good. He had a decent career. Not only that, he played with a chip on his shoulder every night. He played like he was from Detroit. He was tough. Great player. I mean, good player, good role player. Played some good games, man. Knows his stuff. He basically was talking about the thing that happened a decade ago, I believe, between him and Skip Bayless, or I like to call Skip Baseless, because he just put stuff together and go with it. And not only that, I never really liked Skip because he never gave Kobe any credit. Every time Kobe played, it was like he was tearing Kobe down. Like Kobe would have a streak of all these points, but if it was Michael Jordan, everybody would have been praising it. Nobody had a problem with Michael when he was jacking all these damn shots up. But when Kobe do it, oh, he's a gunner. He's a selfish guy. He's a gunner. But Michael Jordan did it, or KD early in his career did it. He's a scorer. And KD, a lot of times, attempted more shots than Kobe did. Michael Jordan attempted way more shots than Kobe ever did. So, but I'm getting off track. Jalen Rose basically, I did this before. It was Blast from the Past. It's on my page. I re-brought it up, showing how Jalen Rose and Skip had a point, what they were making, but Jalen Rose just ethered him. He basically just said, look, dog, it's different styles of play. Just because you're a center doesn't mean that you're physical. You could be shooting threes or shooting the mid-range, and then you got the centers who are very physical. I had to explain this same argument when I was arguing with one of my boys when I worked at call centers, customer service call centers. And I told him, I said, we were debating about Dirk, and I said Dirk is a power forward. Dirk's always been a power forward. He started out as the three, and then as he got his man body and grew a little bit more, because remember, Dirk was, I think, about 6'9", 6'10", and then he grew to 7 feet. So he was at the four. Like, he was a four. He was like a four, sometimes a three. You could throw him in as a five if you wanted to go to small ball lineup. And he used to argue saying, excuse me, I'm tired. He basically argued saying that he didn't get enough rebounds, and I said the same thing Jalen Rose said. It doesn't matter, you shoot, that's your skill set. You are your skill set. Steph Curry, the reason why I don't consider him a point guard is he doesn't know how to control the pace of the game. He doesn't. Trae Young can. If you watch Trae Young at Oklahoma, Trae Young can control the pace. He can control the pace of the game. De'Aaron Fox can control the pace of the game. James Harden is just a point guard that's also a two guard. He can play both positions. He can play off the ball, or he can play with the ball in his hands. James Harden can score at a high clip. So it's different styles of play depending on what you like. But Steph is just an undersized two guard because he plays better without the ball in his hand. He can run through screens. Steph is a Reggie Miller, Rip Hamilton type of player. Now, he can't go one-on-one. He could boogie on you, but that's not his game. He's not going to do that for the whole game. That's not his skill set. So Jalen Rose basically was upset with the name calling that Skip Baseless was telling him and saying to him, and then Stephen Coon Smith basically was was on there going off talking about Kwame, And like I said, Kwame Brown, he wasn't the greatest on the court, but he was decent. He wasn't trash where he just didn't live up to his number one pick. He wasn't like Eli Manning. Let me stop, man, before Sir Bishop come in here saying, man, you just keep hating on him. I'm like, I ain't hating on nothing. He's a Down syndrome baby. And I stick to that. But, yeah, he got tired of the name calling Bosh Spice, because Bosh played very finesse. But see, Bosh, the way they had him playing, it wasn't because Bosh wasn't soft or Bosh could bang with you down low. It's just that LeBron can't play off the ball. So if you're a guy who needs the ball, because if you go watch Chris Bosh in Toronto, then watch him in Miami, you'll see two totally different players. The Bosh in Toronto was able to he worked more in the post. Bosh was a post player. He was a true number 4/5. He could play those positions because he could post up, he could rebound, not real effectively, but he could rebound, he could shoot, and he could defend. Chris Bosh's defense is very underrated, and he doesn't get the just due that he gets. He's the reason the Miami Heat won those 2 championships. It wasn't because of just D. Wade or LeBrownies. No, it was because of Bosh. If you didn't have Bosh on those teams doing the dirty work, hitting the clutch shots, see, people forget, Bosh was hitting a lot of clutch shots, especially that last season when they lost to the Spurs. That second time they played them, Bosh was hitting game winner after game winner, clutch shot after clutch shot. They be down by 2. He hit a 3 in the corner to win the game from the elbow 3. That's what I'm saying. It's like Skip Baseless is a guy who picks who he likes. But you notice he don't say nothing bad about Tim Tebow. He don't say nothing bad about, other guys. He sticks with his guys. You saw how he just dissed Dak Prescott. He just destroyed Dak. But when all these other white quarterbacks got these contracts, everyone want to blast Dak like he can't get that contract. Why the hell he can't? Dak Prescott proved his worth. When he got hurt with that injury, your team sucked because you didn't have a leader. Dak is a leader. Now, does he need to improve his game? Yeah, he does. He needs to learn how to play with the lead in the beginning. He needs to play with a sense of urgency in the beginning, but that comes with time. The problem is Dak is a guy who he has to have the running game get him going. If Zeke and Pollard aren't effective or getting good yards for him, Dak's not going to be able to move the chains. A lot of times Dallas is put at 2nd and 10, 2nd and 15, 3rd and 15, and things like that, which it messes them up. It messes the rhythm of the offense up, and they don't have a good offensive coordinator. He's a guy from Boise State. Now, Stephen A. Smith or Stephen Coon Smith and Skip Baseless, Jalen put both of them in their place because he was just saying, you don't like when somebody talks about you, Water Pistol Pete, and that's what he called him. And you saw Skip was hurt and mad. You know why he was hurt and mad? Because Jalen checked his ass. Jalen showed him, oh, you don't like it when it's said about you, but you going off about this kid. And the only reason they talk bad about Kwame is because they want their guy Michael Jordan, aka his baldness, to be looked at as this diva, this type of guy. This type of, he was God, he was Jesus. Like, give me a break, man. Mike was just an arrogant piece of it. Guy could play basketball, can't take that away from him, but he's a piece of it. And he ruined that young boy's career. Instead of, that's what I was saying. Michael's leadership style, him and Kobe's leadership style would rub players the wrong way. It would rub some players the wrong way. Isaiah Thomas from the Pistons, his leadership works. He could work with anybody. Magic the same way. Larry Bird to me. He's the same way. He just has rub off effect. You know, never really was real vocal, but he could get vocal when it was time. So, but shout out to Jalen Rose for that, for defending Kwame, and like he said, it's when you equate bust, if you're talking about them on the court, that's fine. But we've never talked about Kwame off the court because we never knew who Kwame was. I just thought on the court, he was okay. He was better than Andrew Bynum. I would have took him over Bynum. Bynum was so soft and trash. But Bynum just had more offensive. He had a better offensive skill set. But Kwame was a better center overall, rebounding. You know, he was underrated at passing. He could defend. So, like I said, in my eyes, if you don't do well on the field or the court, but you do well outside the court and the field, I always talk about that. I always talked about how Jalen was doing, how other ball players who don't get the same love, like, you know, Gary Payton's doing his thing, Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, how he's coaching players, coaching teams. And then that was cool when he got into the big three, man. He was out there cooking cats. You know, it was like, man, Chris Jackson still got it. But Jalen Rose just put them in their place. He had to let them know, look, if you want to critique how they play, that's good. But the name calling, you know, Jalen wasn't down for that. And Jalen already, if you watch the episodes before that, I think it was 3 or 4 episodes before that, Jalen Rose and Skip, that dynamic was already boiling. It was already boiling. And they didn't have Jalen back on the show after that next day when they did that episode where they talked about the name calling and stuff. They had to have a mediation. They had that mediation because Jalen Rose showed you that white boy don't know it. And he basically exposed that white boy. He put that white boy in his place. And the white boy shut up. His feelings was hurt. He was mad that got out there. He wanted to explain his side like before, you know, he should have came to him. Why does he got to come to you? You didn't go to Kwame Brown before you called him a bust. Skip baseless. You didn't go to anybody else. I didn't hear you really talking about Adam Morrison like that. You and Stephen Coon Smith always attack the brothers hard. Y'all do. And Skip, you know, even though Skip has his days where I'll be like, yeah, that's cool what you said. But at the end of the day, Skip, you're not ever going to understand blacks. I give you credit. You do open the dialogue to try to talk about Black America and our issues. Even you let Shannon have the floor, and you are very respectable. I give you that. But at the end of the day, I don't trust none of this it. You are tearing guys down. You tore down Dak Prescott, and then all of a sudden you happy he's your quarterback. You know. And Shannon Sharp, we know what he does. He'll tear Lamar Jackson down to shreds, but he's not going to critique Pat Mahomes when Pat Mahomes had a bad Super Bowl. He didn't he didn't go as hard. He didn't go hard on him like he did Lamar. Lamar Jackson throws 66%. He completes 66% of his passes. He's thrown over 3,000 yards. And he ran over 1,000. The guy is amazing. And you guys don't give him his credit. You guys are going to do Lamar Jackson like y'all did Mike Vick. Y'all going to force him to play pocket passer. Then when he get his bell rung, then you guys are going to be like, well, he needs to take off. Which one is it? You guys praise Aaron Rodgers when he be running and taking off. Look at Aaron Rodgers. He can run, he can scramble, but not only that, he could throw the ball. It's a joke. It's like the black quarterback has the toughest job. Like they're given the toughest problems of anybody. And then it's like, all right, we're finna attack now. So I don't get it, man. She basically Jalen basically just like he said, after that day, sports debating, sports shows weren't the same, and it wasn't, because he opened a light to what these guys do. And Jalen Rose, he just had to take over the conversation. It's different styles, and he had to break it down. And Skip kept on antagonizing him, not letting him finish. So he said, did you average such and such? Because Jalen knew how to attack. That's how Jalen knew how to get him. Because Jalen Rose is like, dude, you weren't it in college or high school. You couldn't play. I had beef with my coach. Everybody had beef with their coach. Everybody has some quarrel with their coach. But for you to call these guys a bust like that, they're this and that, but to keep reiterating it and promoting it, it's like, look, man, just let it go. Jalen Rose said what he had to say. He put that guy in his place. He showed him, look, I know more basketball than you do, and he does. So, thank you for listening. Like, comment, subscribe, share this, hit the notification bell to select all to receive upcoming notifications. And please subscribe. Please subscribe to Bus Life, Kwame Brown Bus Life. He's on fire. Shout out to Carcino. Make sure you support all his pages, the Screen Fiend, One Crack, and Patreon. Shout out to Who Did It This Time. Please go to his page, man. That's my brother there. C-Pen, that's my other brother, For the Win. Please subscribe and go watch his channel. I think he has a video coming out soon, or it's probably already dropped. And shout out to everybody, man, who be on the panel, who always is supporting the page. Thank you so much. And if you want to donate to the page, you can cash at me at the word welcome, the number 2, and then HDIITV. Thank you all for listening, and it's blessings. We are out. Deezy.